Welcome to our live news. I am Olubenga George. The headlines. Nwoko carpets Peter Obi'S petition of Tinubu's election victory, tax it waste of effort. Federal government makes U-turn on petrol subsidy removal, gives reasons. In foreign news, Kyiv says counter-attack nearly ready, with iron fist as strike kill 21 in Russian invasion. In sport, factional group emerges as Nigeria's players' union crisis grows stronger. And in entertainment, talk show host Jerry Springer dies at 79.
This is Alive TV.
Now the news in detail. A chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Nwoko, has said the petition filed by the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, against the victory of the president-elect Bola Tinubu is an exercise in futility. Recall that Obi had filed a petition to challenge the victory of Tinubu, the candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the February 25 presidential election. Obi, who came third in the election, alleged that presidential election was characterized by irregularities, praying that Tinubu's victory be annulled. Speaking with journalists in Abuja on Thursday, Nwoko said Obi's petition filed against Tinubu at the Presidential Elections Petition Tribunal in Abuja might fail once the president-elect is sworn in on May 29. The Delta State Senator-elect stated it is almost impossible to stop Tinubu from completing his 4-year tenure, adding that Labour Party's poor assessment of the polity and unrealistic expectation led to its defeat. Nwoko maintained that the ruling party would have suffered a severe defeat in the 2023 presidential poll if the opposition had aligned, adding that an alliance between both parties is the only way to save Nigeria from the APC government. Nwoko further blamed the Labour Party and Obedient for Obi's loss in the presidential election, stressing that they were too self-absorbed to give room for logical reasoning. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari-led government has revoked the plan to remove subsidy from Premier Motor Spirits, PMS, better known as Petrol, by June 2023. The federal government has severally announced the plan to end subsidy on fuel this year so as to increase its revenue. However, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, disclosed on Thursday that the National Executive Council, which comprises state governors, deliberated on the issue extensively and came to the conclusion that it will not be wise to remove subsidy as soon as the new administration is trying to settle down to governance. Ahmed made this known shortly after a NEC meeting chaired by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. She also noted that the existing committee that has been discussing the fuel subsidy needed to be expanded to enable more input from concerned Nigerians. She specifically said there needed to be more interface with the Nigerian Labour Congress and more engagement with the Petroleum Marketers Association, amongst others. Still in local stories, the intention of the federal government of Nigeria to evacuate Nigerians in Sudan in the past few hours has been filled with controversy. Reports claim that the hope of many Nigerians in Sudan leaving the country is hanging in the balance. A source close to the evacuation move in a chat with the press said some Nigerians expected to be evacuated have been abandoned by the embassy officials. The sources allege that the embassy officials joined their families to Cairo, the capital of Egypt. Following the shutting down of Sudanese airspace, flights meant to convey people leaving Sudan have been landing in Egypt and neighboring countries. The Nigerian government had put plans in place to evacuate Nigerians from Sudan to Cairo by road from where they would join flights back home. The federal government took the step after the warring factions in Sudan agreed to a 3-day ceasefire. However, earlier today, evacuation process could not continue as officials had reportedly fled Sudan. This led to a protest at the venue of evacuation in Khartoum. The protesters reportedly held one Ibrahim Abdallah up Bureau de Change operator ransom, beating him mercilessly. In addition to receiving a cash transfer meant to finance the journey, Abdallah was said to have been involved in bus provision. He said the balance is yet to be sent, disclosing that about 25 buses built to evacuate other stranded Nigerians have since withdrawn participation in the exercise, and the officials were not responsive. The senator representing Kogi West Senatorial District, Smart Adeyemi, and the son of the state's former governor, Shuaibu Abubakar Audu, have sought the nullification of the recent All Progressives Congress governorship primary in the state. The duo requested the Federal High Court in Abuja to cancel the primary election that produced Usman Ododo, who is believed to be Governor Yahya Bello's preferred candidate. In the suit marked FHC ABJ CS 556-2023 and FHC ABJCS 557-2023. Adeyemi and Audu, respectively, are asking the court to declare APC's purported primary as illegal, unlawful, and invalid for the November governorship election. According to them, the selection of Ododo was against the provision of Section 177 of the 1999 Constitution and Sections 29 and 84 of the Electoral Act, as well as Article 20 of the APC's Constitution. In a 35-paragraph affidavit in support of his own originating summons, Adeyemi claimed to have obtained his nomination and expression of interest form at 50 million naira, upon which he was screened and cleared to participate in the primary election stated for April 14, 2023, because the election was not held, adding that his senatorial district has never produced a governor. The two aspirants are therefore seeking the court's order to declare the primary election null and void. It was gathered that other aspirants who have already commenced legal action against the outcome of the APC primary in Kogi include a former Minister of State for Education, Professor Stephen Ocheni, Deputy National Publicity Secretary of APC, Murtala Yakubu Ajaka, and Dr. Sanusi Ohiara. Now to foreign stories. Kyiv said on Friday it was nearly ready to launch a huge ground assault to retake occupied land after Russia hurled missiles at cities as people slept overnight, killing at least 21 civilians in its first large-scale airstrikes in nearly 2 months. The war is coming to a crucial juncture after a month-long Russian winter offensive that gained little ground despite the bloodiest fighting so far. Kyiv is preparing a counter-offensive using hundreds of tanks and armored vehicles sent by the West, hoping to drive Russia out of the nearly a fifth of the country that it occupies and claims to have annexed. In the central town of Uman, firefighters battled a raging blaze at a residential apartment building that had been struck on an upper floor by a Russian missile. Officials said at least 19 civilians were killed there, including several children. Moscow said the target of its overnight strikes were locations of Ukrainian reserve troops, which it had struck successfully, preventing them from reaching the front. It supplied no evidence to support these. In the southeastern city of Dnipro, a missile struck a house, killing a 2-year-old child and a 31-year-old woman, Regional Governor Sehil Leyask said. Now in sports news, the crisis rocking Nigeria's Players Union has taken on a new dimension as a coalition of active football players from the various ranks of men's and women's leagues established a new group, the Concerned Group of Active Nigeria Professional Footballers, to handle their affairs. In March, the intervention of the Nigerian Football Federation's Reconciliation Committee halted the grievances between the Professional Footballers Association of Nigeria and All Nigeria Football Players Union. In a statement titled Concerned Group of Active Nigerian Professional Footballers to set up players' bodies, signed by Sunday Abe, the group's secretary and captain of Sunshine Stars FC, the group claimed it was funded after realizing how inadequately the current Players Union were able to represent them. Augustine Festus of Rivers United serves as the group's chairman, with Golbe Elijah of Plateau United serving as vice chairman. The other members are Joy Jerry of Changchun Dazong Soye Women FC in China, Maureen Tovia Opala of the Nasarawa Amazons, and Rabiu Ali, a seasoned league player and captain of the Kano Pillars. And now to entertainment news. Popular American television host Jerry Springer has died at the age of 79. The controversial media figure had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer a few months ago, but cancer took a turn for worse this week. According to his family, he died peacefully at his Chicago home on Thursday. A spokesman for the family, Gene Galvin, described him as irreplaceable. Jerry was also a politician, clinging the position of mayor of Cincinnati in 1977. He also considered running for governor of Ohio. The Jerry Springer Show ran from 1991 to 2018, airing more than 4,000 episodes. It was a huge success and was so popular in the 90s that it managed to top Oprah Winfrey's program in several cities. Springer is survived by daughter Katie, who is deaf and blind, and sister Evelyn. And that's all on our live news. Thanks for joining.